I'm Karen Elgersma at the Royal BC Museum at the Our Living Languages exhibition, and you're watching Go Island on ShawTV. On today's show, Meg Cuthbert meets a man who's in his 80s, but his energy and love of life will give you a new perspective on what it means to be a senior. And we get a history lesson from Danda Humphreys. All that and much more on Go Island. Hello, thank you so much for joining us on Go Island. We're surrounded by words today at the Royal BC Museum. Languages, history, culture, in a way that is tangible, tactile, beautiful, rich, and I would say creative. Tracy, I am so excited about this exhibition because as soon as I heard about it, I got goosebumps. This is such a special opportunity for everyone to come and learn about the First Nations languages. Tell us a little bit about this exhibition and how people can get the most out of it.
Well, thanks so much, Karen. We're really excited about the exhibit, both the Royal BC Museum and First Peoples Cultural Council. It's a project that we've been working on for about a year and a half with many, many community partners from all over British Columbia. And the scope of the exhibition is looking at all of BC's First Nations languages that are Indigenous to BC. And we're showcasing the diversity of these languages. We invited artists to develop pieces around the languages. We have a beautiful theater. We have all kinds of wonderful videos and interactives for children and adults.
Why is it so important that we preserve these languages and, of course, now celebrate them?
Well, it's both important to First Nations in BC as well as British Columbians and Canadians because it is the heritage of this land. And each language, each of the 34 languages and 61 dialects is connected to the place of British Columbia, connected to the lands, the history, the medicines, the animals, the mountains, the streams, and there's so much knowledge within our languages that tells us how to live on the land, that tells us our laws, how to be and live in harmony with all living things, and it's a beautiful perspective. It's a beautiful way of looking at the world. We want to continue that for ourselves as Indigenous people, but we also want to share that heritage with everyone.
I love it. Words are powerful, and if we have the opportunity to learn how words can connect us to Mother Earth, to connect us to culture, to our past, I think it will change our future. You know, what do you hope people, when they come, what do you hope people will experience when they come in and enjoy this up close and personal?
Well, they're going to be surprised, first of all, about the diversity of First Nations in BC and how different we are and how different our languages are. And here we're standing in the forest of languages, and you know, there's 34
Isn't that
languages.
The best? I know.
So you get to interact, and depending on where you're from, you can learn a greeting from the place that you live. And in the Cradle Board Theater, that's my favorite.
I love the Cradle
Board
Theater. Yes.
We had hoped to give people an opportunity to feel what it would have been like to grow up learning a mother tongue language and right from your mother. So that focus is a mother singing lullabies to a baby, also children speaking the language, which is
so
quite
precious.
Beautiful.
It is so precious.
Ideally, I had hoped that people could get into a cradle board and feel what was like, but we worked with the museum to design something a bit more practical, so you can come in and sit down and just be immersed in the language and enjoy that with a few other people. We
are going to head there in just a moment. You do feel cradled when you're in there. It's very zen, I have to say, and very precious. But first, we're going to head to Mill Bay to meet a man who may be in his 80s, but he lives and thinks like a young person. Meg Cuthbert with that story. Today, we're at a very special exhibition that just opened up. You have to come to the Royal BC Museum and check this out. It is magical. Tracy, remind everyone where we are and what we're doing. What the name of the exhibit is? Our Living Languages exhibition here at the Royal BC Museum. And they are living. In fact, we are going to walk into, this is called the Cradle Board Theater. Cradle Board Theater. To be cradled and learn a language as a young one, a baby or a little girl or a little boy would learn from their mother. So come on in with us. Tell everyone how they can get the most out of their experience in here.
Well, this Cradleboard Theater is a place to come and be cradled in the language. So the design of it is symbolic of being inside a cradleboard, all snuggled up, and you get to sit back in your little cubby and hear this beautiful sound coming from these fantastic speakers above you, and listen to lullabies, mothers speaking to their children in their language and children responding in their language, children singing songs, and very young children. We're talking about toddlers mostly.
I can hear. Listen to that. I love those little voices. So precious. We are going to continue to show you some of the really cool things at this exhibition. There are some beautiful pieces of art, as well as more opportunities to get up close and personal with the languages. But first, we're going to head to Victoria's Inner Harbor to get a little history lesson from one of our favorite historians, Danda Humphreys. Danda Humphreys gives historical walking tours all summer long. Go to her website and book a tour with her. It's a great thing to do with all those friends and family that come and visit you in Victoria during the summer. Another wonderful experience that you want all your friends and family to have is coming to the Royal BC Museum and being part of the Living Languages exhibition. It is magical, it's educational, it's grounding. I actually find it quite it's like a Zen experience, just sort of like sitting in the cradle and listening to the language. And you're even allowed to pick up the phone and not get in trouble. Tracy, tell us about this. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about this part of the exhibition here.
Well, this beautiful piece of artwork has been done by Frances Dick, and she was an artist that we selected when we commissioned 3 pieces of artwork for this exhibition to speak about languages. And what Frances has done here is she has put some animals on each side of the pillar, and you can pick up the phone and talk to her, and she uses the language and explains to you what the words are for each of the animals. Frances is Kwakwakala, and she's from this beautiful island.
We need to take a very short break, but go nowhere. When we come back, more right here at the Living Languages exhibition at the Royal BC Museum. Welcome back to Go Island. We are in the new exhibition here at the Royal BC Museum, Living Languages, and they are alive. You can hear them. You can touch buttons and get greetings. You can go in and get cradled and hear the beautiful voices of children learning First Nations languages. It's been such a collaborative project here at the Royal BC Museum. And Mark, you've been a big part of that collaboration. Tell us sort of what the vision was behind bringing this idea to life here at the museum.
Sure. Thanks, Karen. I think the big vision we had here was to be, like you mentioned, a collaborative approach, and we wanted to involve our partners at FPCC as much as possible. So as part of the process, what we did is we had their project manager actually come and work for us on site.
No way!
Yeah, no, it's great. So
that's real collaboration. I love that.
So they were part of all the backstory discussions. There was nothing that was left out. They got a chance to work collaboratively and directly with the team that would be actually building the exhibition. And this little, I call it a little cradleboard theater behind me, it's actually quite big, but that was truly a collaborative approach. We were sitting around one day talking about how we could introduce music to the show, and one of them was through a lullaby. And then we kind of thought, well, if we did that in a theater space, what would that look like? Could we create a sort of an enclosed space, a place that you felt a little bit cocooned, like you were laying in a cradleboard, listening to elders talk, women talking over tea, the drum beat. And so it really simply evolved from a simple discussion, which Michelle, our project manager, was able to take it out to FPCC. They talked about it out there and said, that sounds like a great idea, let's go for it. And that's how this came about.
culture is such an important part of understanding who we are and where we came from. Have you ever tried or seen flamenco dancing? Well, James Green met up with a family who's not only incredibly good at this dance, but they're actually using it as a way to heal. And James thought he'd put his own dancing shoes on and try out this very cool flamenco dancing. Whether it's dance, music, or words, learning about our culture, learning where we came from, empowers us to not only understand who we are, but how we can take care of each other, our families, and of course our planet. Tracy, the Our Living Languages exhibition here at the Royal BC Museum is so powerful. And this is a cool part of it. This is a little theater in here. Tell us about this part.
This is our main theater, and we have a film that really provides a great overview of what's happening with languages in British Columbia from the perspective of youth and also people that have been working in language revitalization for over 50 years. So it gives a real good picture of the work that we're doing and what our hopes and aspirations are for languages in British Columbia. And we hope to also use it to have special events where we're bringing in First Nations from different parts of British Columbia to talk more about their specific cultures and doing live performances. So that'll happen over the 3-year period.
So there'll be lots of fun energy in here after going to the Aboriginal Cultural Festival and seeing those hoop dancers. Oh my, I hope they come and do a little show here. We have to take a very short break, but please stay with us when we come back. Some great ideas on how you can make the most of your summer and more right here at the Royal BC Museum. Our Living Languages exhibition at the Royal BC Museum is a must-do. But fortunately, if you can't get to it this summer, it'll be here for a while, Tracy. How long?
3 years.
3 years, which is just so important because it allows people to come back again and again. It allows school groups to come in and get exposed, and I just think that it is just so powerful. Now, Tracy, this is a very cool part of the exhibition here. Tell us about this.
This is our interactive language map where you can come and press a button and learn about the language from the area that you live.
Where do you live, Tracy?
I live in the Kamloops area, so my language is Chi-Weapons-Jean. So it'll pull up the area and then give some details and statistics about the language and how it's doing.
So fun. I love the way technology has played a great role in bringing history really back to life, but it's very interactive, very tactile. Thank you so much for being part of the inspiration and the passion behind creating this beautiful exhibition. And I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you all right here at the Royal BC Museum.
Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir. Casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.